right, Duncan, thank you so much for joining me to talk about what's going on with Veritree. I think the community likes to know what's going on as well. So over the last few months, what have you guys been doing?
Building. There's been a lot of building.
Yeah.
People say the best time to build is the bear market.
Yeah.
But we found a good time to build during the bull market, and now into the bear market. But yeah, we have a number of developers that have been strictly building planting recording tools. So tools that are used in the field and collect data and then optimize that data and store it online. Now, that's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. And, and it's stuff that I hope to allow the Cardano community, specifically our ITO participants, to start to have access to through Web3 logins and really cool dashboards that are all in the works.
Right, okay. So you said that groundwork stuff, so they can record what they're planting?
Yeah.
So, okay, so how does that mechanism work? Like, I'm trying to imagine what they need to record to plant the trees, etc.
Yeah, so the first step, and we did this a year ago with a couple of our pilot projects, but the first step was to send a bunch of Samsung devices to the field so that they could capture photos and as well record the time periods that they're out there. Because with those photos, there's some metadata that we can scrape and use to validate that they're actually in the location that they say that they are, and various other kind of cross-references. That took a significantly longer learning period than we thought it would. And the next set of tools that we're rolling out to the field are stuff like IoT dendrometers to record tree growth over time, audio sensors, soil moisture, soil pH, and just various different IoT devices that can run all the time. Now, the issue with that is the network. We're mostly operating in areas that have no Wi-Fi, no data, no network at all, like deep forests in the middle of Africa. And to solve that, we are working with vendors that are using various different low-RAN networks. One of them is the Helium network, so that they can access this data that is wildly off-grid. That would give us a view and almost like a proof of life of the forest at any point in time, and that's something I'm really, really excited to roll out.
That's one thing I would have not have thought about. It's for me, like Wi-Fi, internet connection everywhere you go, but you're planting in really remote areas. So where is the forest being grown or planted?
So the forest is being planted in Kenya, a region called Mtwapa Creek. That's our first planting site. Now, when we launched the ITO, we said we'd plant in Kenya, Madagascar, or Indonesia, or all three. And it looks like we're going to be expanding to a couple other planting sites, and with that, maybe a new rejig on the asset that we're releasing. But yeah, right now we're specifically strictly only planting in Mtwapa Creek in Kenya, with plans to move to other regions of Kenya as well as Madagascar.
Okay, awesome. All right, so now we've got a really good overview of the technical aspects of the recording the data. So what about the ITO users and everyone that's donated or their ADA assets? What is their involvement with the project at the moment?
Yeah, so this is something that has been talked about over and over and over and over again. Like, I think what Veritree hasn't done, and myself included, is communicate all of the effort and thought and work that we're putting into making this experience really, really cool, and something that no one else has. And what we've been, the first reward that quite simply comes to mind from trees is carbon. So we are not in the short term going to be issuing carbon tokens for those trees. Something that we're tangentially exploring for our larger corporate partners and hopefully eventually for like ITO participants, but it's not feasible to audit the planting site and still maintain the cost of the tree, as well as guarantee that the forest is going to live for 25 years. Why we're not strictly going for carbon is because that's just one small piece of the story that we're telling. What we are positioning the ITO rewards to be focused on are impacts, and the impacts created from the donations. So I'm talking about working hours provided. I'm talking about food provided, water table restoration, coastline, because Mtwapa Creek is on the coast. The coast is actually encroaching on the villages that are planting these trees. So coastline restoration. food quality, there are various different goals and impacts that can all kind of be rolled into the UN environmental sustainability goals.
Gotcha,
so we're using that as a framework to distribute rewards, but like they're not really rewards. They are just follow on your donation.
Yeah.
Like it is proof that we planted the trees. It is proof that we are providing working hours for local community members. Like it's a tricky, maybe just word to think about, but we'll be distributing proofs of these impacts to all the ITO holders as well. The one thing that the ITO holders don't have access to right now is our corporate reporting tools and corporate dashboards. So I'll be working very hard over Q4 and hopefully not into Q1, but working very hard to institute our Web3 Wallet Connect so that ITO participants can get access to that dashboard. They can see the estimated carbon sequestered currently, working hours provided, all of these metrics that I've just mentioned are displayed there. Just unfortunately, because we're focusing on B2B, we don't have a way to access that for the ITO, but it's coming. It's coming. I promise. It's coming.
Awesome. Okay. So hopefully by the end of the year, we might see something for the users to be able to jump in there and get that.
So even before then, we just launched 2 days ago. We just updated the ITO site. So ito.veritree.com. Go check it out. If you're holding a donation record, you can connect your wallet and it will compare the land size to the tier that you're holding. So if you're holding 15 trees, that's a parking spot. 100 trees is apartment. It's a 2-bedroom apartment, and then there's 25 Volvos for 1,000. There's a Manhattan City block for 10,000, and an airport for 100,000. But this is just the proof of concept that was used as an internal proof as well as an external proof that we can provide an engaging app based on these donation records that people will, people will visit our site to look at this app, to review the impacts, and then view their assets. That's all the stuff that we're trying to prove right now by giving people access to real hard data that they can go tell their friends about and talk about.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll put all the links to that in the show notes for everyone so they can check it out.
Awesome.
And good luck with building out the rest of the project.
Thank you so much. Good.
Awesome.
Thanks for this.
Yeah, gotta do it like that. You've been listening to the Learn Cardano podcast. Gotta get it hype. Crypto is what we like, but this is not investment or financial advice. Gotta do your research, cause it's risky. We know it is. This show is educational and it's informative. Crypto's the future, really, it ain't no debate.